I particularly remember the very first day of the conflict, in inverted commas, which really was the preparation for the task force. And I've never seen so many lorries in all my life. The lorries stretched throughout the length of the dockyard into the congested streets of Portsmouth, and they were loading absolutely everything. There was just mountains and mountains of supplies. The mood in the dockyard is quite bizarre, because there we were, not knowing whether we were going to have a job, and all of a sudden that's gone out the window, and the determination of the guys was to say that we're just going to meet all the deadlines as tight as they were. The volume of work we've been asked to do was phenomenal, and I think what was fantastic was the can-do attitude. There was nobody was saying they can't do things. People were becoming innovative. They were coming up with solutions rather than objections, criticisms, or I can't do that, that's not my job. So fantastic effort all round. And I think everyone was so friendly. So working nights for several months, night shifts, and I'd ring my wife up from a telephone box in those days, and it may be 11, 12 o'clock at night when you've got a break and you'd be queuing up to make a call. Other people in the queue at the phone boxes would be saying, have you heard the news? This is happening, that's happening. And it was just one of camaraderie. We were really doing our bit. I think at the same time, after several days, we were actually wondering whether our efforts could help save our jobs. I mean, this was very, very early days in the stage that the fleet hadn't actually left. But I think perhaps deep down we thought, we never know, if we pull out all the stops, we could show the government that Portsmouth was worthy of staying open. Normal working day prior to the conflict would have been 8 hours and hopefully a bit of overtime. We were all young, had mortgages and families, so the overtime was certainly good, and an all-day Saturday. And those constraints and any sort of reference to not exceeding a normal working week went out the window, and my boss put me on night shift straight away, and didn't hesitate to maintain that throughout the conflict. But I think that nobody, even the amount of sick leave decreased. People were just intent on fully committing their time to getting the fleet ready for deployment. I think the rapport that was built up through the dockyard spirit was certainly at its best, that we'd been at rock bottom with the thought of redundancy, and now considering the fact that the guys were going to be going to war effectively, even though it seemed to be called a conflict rather than a war, I think most people were referring it to a war. I think that the best memory was when we were all given time off to watch the task force sail out, and that was just fantastic, and probably something I shall never see again. And that was the culmination, in a way, of all the work we've done. Yeah, it's a fabulous day. So we're very fortunate, myself and my colleagues were very fortunate in that because we worked on dockside cranes, we could climb the cranes to get the best view, certainly the best view in the dockyard, and nobody would query why we were hanging off a crane watching the fleet go out, and to see the task force go out and to receive some of the messages back. One of my strong memories was of the Royal Fleet Auxiliary ship Stromness, that I was privy to one of the signals that said, "Portsmouth Dockyard, you are a worker of miracles."